Okay, better. Today I'm going to be talking about a more serious subject, bipolar disorder. Now, I am a bisexual girl with a bipolar disorder, so obviously I can't just go on the straight and narrow no matter what I do. Bipolar disorder is defined as a disorder with two extremes. One is depression and one is mania, or like an extreme elated feeling. When you're in a manic state, you tend to feel like you can run 10 miles and then conquer the world and still have energy to do more. You don't really sleep very well. You make very risky decisions. I have been known to spend way more money than I should be, or that anyone should, honestly. It's kind of ridiculous how much money I can spend when I am in a manic state. Also, your speech becomes more rapid, your thoughts become rapid. A lot of people tend to make risky sexual decisions, like sleeping with a lot of strangers in a very short amount of time, not practicing safe sex, because again, you feel like you're invincible. So why use a condom? Why use a dental dam? Why use anything if you know you're invincible? The other extreme is depression. Now, bipolar depression is a little bit different than your average depression disorder. Bipolar depression goes to the very, very rock bottom very, very quickly. So you can't get out of bed, you want to sleep a lot, you don't have the energy or the will to get up and do anything or to participate in life around you, which is very, very hard when you're a mom or somebody who needs to be out in the world, or you have a job or anything like that. Suicidal thoughts become very prevalent and occur very, very often when you are in bipolar depression. There have been moments when I've been in that state that I've had suicidal thoughts probably, oh gosh, more times than I can count a day. You don't necessarily feel like you need to give in to it, but the thoughts are there, and the voices, you know, those depressing voices can kind of tell you that that's the route you need to take, even though you know that that's not the truth. Within those two extremes, there are different degrees within bipolar disorder of what kind of cycling you have, the exact definition of what kind of bipolar disorder you have. There is bipolar 1. It involves periods of severe mood fluctuations from the mania to the depression. It just goes from one to the other. And periods can last from a few weeks to a few months to even a year. Bipolar 2 is a milder version of bipolar 1. So with bipolar 2, you have milder cases of hypomania, which is mania, and severe depression. So although you go to the two extremes, it's milder. There is also something called rapid cycling, which I feel like I fall into really easily. Rapid cycling is when you can go between hours to one day to a few days, cycling between both of your extremes. So I could go a few days with being manic, and I can go straight down to having a few days of being depressive and go back and forth. Thankfully, the medication I take really helps temper that, so it doesn't happen as much. But when I am in a rapid cycle, I can definitely feel the difference, and I can tell exactly how high I am and how low I am. Medications are very, very important for a bipolar person, no matter what. A lot of bipolar people feel like once they get balanced with a medication that they can just take themselves off of it and then that's okay. That is very, very dangerous and very risky. You should always come off of your medication with the help of a doctor. A lot of people, when they do it on their own, tend to have way more suicidal tendencies and thoughts and tend to commit suicide a lot more often when they don't have the help of a doctor. So just please, please, please be sure that if you are going off your medication, you are talking to your doctor. Now, going on to medication, it's good to talk to your doctor first about how you're feeling and how you feel like maybe you might be bipolar and you need to get diagnosed first. Once you're diagnosed officially, it's good to get a psychologist, just because they're going to be the ones who know how to regulate your medication a lot better. There are different kinds of medication that help treat bipolar disorder. One of the big things that psychologists will prescribe to you are what's called mood stabilizers. What they do is they kind of temper all of those extremes and calm everything down. We as in my psychologist and I have found that taking an antidepressant with my mood stabilizers really helps all of that as well. I have been told by doctors as well as friends that I have who also are bipolar that taking an antidepressant alone actually can worsen your bipolar disorder. So make sure that you are talking to your doctor and that you guys get on a regimen that actually works for you. Not all medications and not all mixtures are going to work for everybody. And the thing with medication and bipolar disorder, unfortunately, is there is no good, there is no set medication for this disorder. You have to kind of play around with it with your doctor. Some things are going to feel better than other things. Some things are going to affect you differently than other things. So make sure you're talking to your doctor. That is, I'm sure I've said that a million times so far in this video, but make sure you are talking to your doctor. Another thing I would suggest personally, with my personal experience, is to make sure you're also seeing some sort of therapist or counselor to kind of talk through a lot of things that you're going through, because bipolar disorder can kind of throw you for a loop and it really adds to your everyday life. And so trying to figure out how to function and how to feel healthy within your life while having bipolar disorder is something that a therapist or a counselor can really help you with. So make sure that you are talking to somebody kind of outside of your situation. Although talking to family and friends is really, really great to do as well, they're not going to be as well equipped to talk you through what you're going through than a therapist or a counselor would be. Bipolar disorder doesn't care what your sexuality is, what your gender is, what anything is. It's a mental illness, so it's gonna choose who it's gonna choose, and it's gonna affect who it's gonna affect, and there's all you can do is just kind of work through it. So what I want to hit on is, if you feel like you relate to any of the things that I have touched on in this video, be sure to talk to your doctor so that you guys can make an informed decision on how to go forward. If you feel like you're having any suicidal thoughts or practicing self-harm or are just having a hard time dealing with life, please reach out to someone. You are never alone. The numbers on the screen I have listed: the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, 24/7 Depression, Anxiety, PTSD, LGBT Youth Hotline, LGBT National Hotline, LGBT Elders Hotline. If you feel like you need to reach out to somebody and you don't feel comfortable talking to anyone in your life at the moment, those numbers on the screen are who you should call. The Not Adam has a very good video about bisexual people and the issues that they face. He has a lot of really good statistics and backed up facts and numbers for you guys, and he has it all up on the screen and everything that looks really good. I will link the video down below for you so that you can watch that for all of my bisexual people who feel like they're being affected by depression and other such things. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. I will see you next week, and make sure you're being healthy and happy, and I love you. Bye.